you Echo Tips podcast listeners. It's good to have you with us here today. And today's episode, we're going to be dealing with short bedtime stories, or the short bedtime story skill, to be precise. And before we get into that, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then I will be right back. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Hello, welcome back to the Echo Tips podcast. It's good to have you here with us. If you've been listening for some time, we really appreciate your listenership over these last 3 seasons. You've really helped us to boost, I think we're well over 40,000 listens. So that's a pretty amazing accomplishment. And if you want to continue to support us, feel free to talk to us on Twitter or Facebook at Goodwill Valleys here in Southwest Virginia. And or you can even shoot us a message on the Anchor.fm network. Now, if you're totally new to this podcast and you don't know anything about it, well, let me briefly introduce myself. I'm David Ward. I'm an assistive technology instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill. And in today's episode, and past episodes, future episodes, we try to keep these things into little nuggets, 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes we go a little bit overboard with that, we go a little longer. But today's episode, we're going to be dealing with the bedtime story or short bedtime story skill. And with a lot of families sheltering at home due to the pandemic and many different things like that, it's good to have a lot of these cool things. And there's some really cool kids features on the Echoes too, and even Echoes that are specifically sold as catered to kids that come with like the my brain just stopped working, the Audible subscription, which is audiobooks. And there's like a kids plan and different things like that. So there's a lot of cool things you can do. This is just one anybody could do and doesn't cost anything. And it's called the short bedtime story skill. So before I demonstrate this, though, I'll ask that if you have echoes in the room in hearing range of my voice, you'll want to probably shut their ears off so that when I'm doing the demonstration, I'm not triggering your echo at home. Now, if you're listening on your Echo to this podcast, then you probably don't really need to worry because she's got smart enough over the years that she won't, I think, respond in most instances when she's actually playing this podcast. But if you have different Echoes, you'll want to find that silhouetted microphone on the top button. And on the modern ones, I think it's even raised. It's either a raised microphone or a letter M for mute. I can't remember. And you press that and you'll get a thump sound like this. And that tells you her ears are off, and then you can, it's got a red ring across the top. Now, if you have an Echo Show with the screen facing you, it's going to be the button on the far left, top of the edge of the screen. And it'll put a red bar across the bottom. Okay, so let's give this thing a try. Alexa, open short bedtime stories skill.
Okay, here's short bedtime stories. Hello. Welcome to Short Bedtime Stories. Simply say play all stories. Or ask me to spin the wheel. You can also ask me to play my personal bedtime story. Make sure to check out the newest story entitled Little Pirate Joe.
Ooh. Personal story.
Okay. You chose a personalized bedtime story. Before we start, let me ask you some questions. Would you like to hear a story about a boy or about a girl?
Boy.
Okay. You chose a boy story. Now tell me, what is the boy's name?
David.
Okay. So the boy is called David. Is it correct?
Yes.
Good job. At the moment I can tell 4 personalized stories. Ocean Adventure Story, Santa Claus Story, Baking Story, and Halloween Story. Which one would you like to hear?
Ocean?
Sorry. I'm having trouble understanding you. Good job.
Oh.
At the moment I can tell 4 personalized stories. Ocean Adventure Story, Santa Claus Story,
Adventure.
Baking Story, and Halloween Story. Which one would you like to hear?
Ocean Story.
Cool. Playing David's Ocean Adventure. Have you heard of a talking dog? No? Well, then let me tell you a story about a little boy named David and his dog called Teddy. David got Teddy for his 6th birthday and they have been inseparable ever since. Teddy started talking when he was only a few months old, but nobody knew this since David and his dog decided to keep it a secret. They went on fun adventures together, played games and had long talks when everyone was asleep. One Sunday morning David was bored. He had finished his homework and all he wanted to do was to have some fun. David said,
"We are going on a treasure hunt, Teddy. Come on, follow me."
Teddy wondered.
Where are we going to? What are we looking for?
David explained.
Last week at school I heard that in the ocean, close to where we live, there is a magical place called the Silver Submarine where all the fish gather and have fun.
David and Teddy decided to get ready. They took some scuba diving equipment, got on David's...
Alexa, stop.
Goodbye. If you like this skill and have more bedtime stories added, please leave a review in your Alexa app.
All right, so that gives you a brief little idea of how you can create a personal story. And as she mentioned, you had a lot of those other story options in there, like different categories, and she'll just tell you a generic kind of story. So they really, I think they've even cranked up the knob on that since I last used it. I don't remember it having all those features. So pretty cool. So that might be good for you and your kids. You might find that one pretty handy. All right, well, next time we're going to be talking about the TED Talk skill. Many people enjoy listening to TED Talks and some of the experts and different people in different fields. And so we're going to talk about how you can utilize that on our next episode. Until then, it's time to turn your microphone back on, start practicing some of the many things you've learned. And we thank you for listening. Tie in and listen to us next time. And we really appreciate that. So for New Vision Program at Goodwill, David Ward signing off. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision, with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.